everyone. My name is Tawanda Ndula. I'm from Zimbabwe, and we're doing a short summary and a book review of the book Why Nations Fail by James and Darren, who are internationally recognized political and economic analysts. So in the book, you will find that they mention that nations fail particularly because of their institutions, where they put that they are extractive institutions and inclusive institutions. Extractive institutions which eventually promote absolutist institutions and eventually promote corruption. And then we have inclusive institutions which eventually promote creative involvement of everyone in the nation.
I realized there are things that we as Africans or countries, we have to adhere them. For example, from the growth of institutions, this comes mostly based on the policies that they have been established, and mostly by the politicians. And from the book, it was like in those countries which have managed to grow, the institutions themselves, they had some kind of strings that they made for those politicians not to be able to benefit from the policies that they have made themselves, especially when it comes to taking loans and something like that.
So this book is really great. It tries to combine the ideas of Adam Smith and of Douglas. In this book, it really highlights that nations fail because of their extractive institutions, and not because of culture, and not because of geographical locations, and not because of our attitude, but it's basically because of our institutions. And therefore, before economy can ossify into prosperity, then we have to look into our institutions, particularly the extractive institutions. We need more inclusive institutions in our economy so that we can leap forward.
Whereby when they say that nations which have inclusive institutions basically encourage development by inviting everyone, not only into politics, but also into economics. Whereby extractive institutions, they mean that the entire power of a country, a nation or a continent is controlled by a few elites who eventually are above the rule of law.
In our countries, we haven't been able to separate from the politicians and other things that even when politicians are making this kind of policies, they have to ensure that they are not so much involved, because it is most likely that they will make policies that will benefit them more than the citizens. And something else, that we miss some kind of competition. And if we have competitive environment, especially in our enterprises, we are going to grow. So competition should not be seen as something bad. It has to be like a challenge to make more innovation.
One critique I've seen by the book is that it did not really incorporate the current education into it, because if you look at institutions, what really form institutions is the people. So if the people are not educated, if they don't have mass education, then you may have some kind of slacks, because you need a radical leader sometimes to change those institutions that do not conform to. Look at the Asian miracle, what World Bank documented in their book in 1993. They say that what really ossified the Asian economies into what they are today and then still progressing in the future is one of the key factors was education, and the next point was savings. So the book didn't really factor the current changing of the economy, and it focused more on the past, trying to merge the past and what there seems to be the institutional lacking. If the institutions are weak, then the economy is weak. So my advice is that make the institutions inclusive and expand the economy, encourage innovation, and let those who are extractive politicians move backwards and bring new ideas.
So have you read the book? If you have any comments or any reviews on the book, you can drop it on the comments below. Thank you.